Yo, what's going on with y'all boys, man? Welcome back to another video. And if you're new here, welcome. You know what I'm saying? Once again, I am back with something new. You know what I'm saying? Something that y'all may not be used to. That was corny, but you know what I'm saying? Let's just move on. But in today's video, as you can tell by the title, if you read the title, hopefully you did, we're going to be ranking all modern NBA point guards, 21st century point guards. You know what I'm saying? Y'all let me know if y'all want to see a video of all NBA point guards or just any other position. You know what I'm saying? Shooting guard, small forward, or just every player in general. My version of the top 75. Y'all let me know. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we're going to get straight into it. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, and let me explain the tiers. First, we got S. S, as you all know, superior. A, B, everything in between with C. Then you have D. You know what I'm saying? They're not the worst of the worst, but they're not S. You know what I'm saying? They're okay. You know what I'm saying? That's the best way to put it. And we have hasn't done enough. You know what I'm saying? A young player, maybe a young point guard that hasn't done enough. Career just getting started, or he's just getting into the swing of things. But yeah, now let's get straight into it. First and foremost, we got Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker, if you all don't know, Kemba Walker in his prime was the definition of just a dog, man. You know what I'm saying? A hard over height, short king. He just like definitely played taller than his height was listed. He'll give your favorite player a bucket. It's just too bad that most of his years got wasted in Charlotte. Yeah. So I think with that being said, as far as NBA point guards, I'll put him B tier. I'll put him B tier because he was, he wasn't a pioneer, but he was like, when you think of short kings in the NBA, you know what I'm saying? If you all don't know, the average height is like 6'3", or probably taller than that now because we got players like Wembanyama. And I seen a dude from Dallas sign with the I seen a dude sign with the Dallas Mavericks. I think he's taller than Wemby. But yeah, so it probably moved up. But him being 6 foot, maybe 6'1", maybe shorter than that. He put on for a lot of short kings. He gave a lot of people hope. You know what I'm saying? They can make the league. And yeah, he changed the game in that aspect. You know what I'm saying? That's showing that you can, no matter the height, no matter the weight, you know what I'm saying, you can do whatever you put your mind to. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, speaking of another short king, we have Stephon Marbury. You know what I'm saying? I think he's 6'1", 6'2". You know what I'm saying? As you can tell with point guards, we're gonna have probably not a lot of short king, but we're gonna have, you know what I'm saying, a good amount of them. Stephon Marbury, Starberry, they like to call him. He's just, yeah, he's just one of them players that his play style defines an entire era. You know what I'm saying? A point guard in basketball and, street ball. One of those players that bridge the gap between basketball and like organized basketball and street ball. You know what I'm saying? Definitely had his era. Was one of the, like I said, few players to really bring that type of energy to the game, especially a whole era. Like that era between the 2000s going into the 2010s, like that era just, that's when you really start to see street ball go into the league, start to bridge the gap into the league. But with that being said, I think it's only right we also put him B tier. You know what I'm saying? Like Kemba Walker, he was, for a time, he was one of the faces for a generation. You know what I'm saying? Or he was one of the faces, for an era. You know what I'm saying? Or a specific group in a specific era. You know what I'm saying? For Marbury, it was like I said, he was one of the poster childs when it came to bridging the gap between street ball and NBA. You know what I'm saying? He probably doesn't get talked about enough in that aspect, but you know what I'm saying? If you know basketball, you know he was one of those. He was one of them ones. And we got Derrick Rose, a player, one of my favorite players of all time. And it's just tragic that the injuries, I wouldn't say derailed his career because he went on to play, what, 10 more plus years. But the injuries, man, really ruined of what he could have been. Because I don't think people realize what Derrick Rose, the type of player Derrick Rose was on pace to become. Like, he was on pace to become one of the greatest, probably the greatest in the game of basketball. You know what I'm saying? And watching Derrick Rose, you know what I'm saying, growing up, he was one of those few players that I really, you know, thought that he can, like, when LeBron was getting his terror on in the league and it seemed like nobody could stop him. For some reason, man, it's just Derrick Rose was one of those few players where I really thought, hey, man, if he get, you know, like, if he gets the right team around him, you know what I'm saying? If he get that, you know, if he gets in the right situation with the Bulls, man, he could have stopped LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Or he at least could have competed with LeBron. You know what I'm saying? I know that sounds crazy because it's like, man, compete with LeBron, but I don't. What I'm trying to say is, it could have definitely made the road to 8 straight finals for LeBron a lot harder if Derrick Rose would have still been in his prime form. You know what I'm saying? Would have still been in his prime form. It definitely would have been a lot different if he could have stayed healthy for everybody in the league, not just LeBron, but everybody competing for championships during that time. Because even he was battling with, you know, the big 3, big 4 Celtics, you know, with KG, Paul Pierce, Rajon, you know. And I think with that being said, I'll put him A tier. You know what I'm saying? He didn't. I mean, you could say, oh, he didn't win a ring, but if you're new here, I don't really care too much about rings when it comes to individual success. Now, team success, then that's when we start bringing in the rings. But we talking about individual player rings, don't too much matter to me. And yeah, man, like I said, he's one of those few players that the league would have been in trouble if he would have stayed healthy. You know what I'm saying? If that injury didn't happen. And we don't need to bring that up. We all know. You know, but yeah, and he really not influenced, but you know what I'm saying, he's another one of those players. He's your favorite hooper's favorite hooper. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely, he was one of a kind because he was one of the first to not be that traditional point guard. He was one of the first non-traditional point guards where it was just, you had somebody that can dunk on you, like just straight explosiveness. You know what I'm saying? Because usually before him, point guards was a pass first. We're going to set up the offense. We're going to take it slow, pick and roll. But he was one of the first point guards where hey, get out my way. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming down the lane. You know, I'm dunking on your best defender. You know, it's nothing you can do with him. You know, and yeah, I think that's all that needs to be said. But next we have Steve Nash. You know, Steve Nash, one of the greatest point guards ever, one of the greatest basketball minds ever. I think this is a, you know, non-explanatory. There's nothing that needs to be explained by Steve Nash. He's one of the greatest point guards ever, one of the most efficient 50, 40, 90, you know what I'm saying, point guards ever. Yeah. So I think there's not much that needs to be said. But next we got Jrue Holiday. You know, one of probably the best. Matter of fact, not even probably, he's the best two-way point guard on this list. When it comes to just defense, but also being able to just do a little bit of everything. You know what I'm saying? And actually, you know, I'll switch it back to he's one of the best. Because, you know what I'm saying, there's a point guard that I have in mind that's coming up that I think he, you know, they can compete, you know, 1v1. They can compete with each other on that aspect. But yeah, one of the best two-way point guards ever, one of the best defenders in NBA history. You know what I'm saying? Like, you hear a lot of players like KD and players like just pretty much like any former player that done played against Jrue Holiday, probably played with Jrue Holiday, will tell you that, you know, he's a different breed when it comes to that defense. But also, you know, he can put the ball in the basket. He can, you know what I'm saying, just do a little bit of everything. Play make, especially early on, you know what I'm saying, where he was more of a scorer. But as he got later in his career, he started to become more of that well-rounded type of point guard, you know what I'm saying? Or shifting more towards defensive, but still giving you that some of that offensive aspect. But definitely should have made more all defensive teams. With that being said, I'll also, matter of fact, I'll put him A. You know what I'm saying? Because I think, you know, with point guards, what people don't talk about is they always talk about the passing and you know, the setting up teammates. Jrue Holiday can do that, but you know, also on the defensive end, you know what I'm saying, we also got to bring defense into this aspect. I think defense definitely shouldn't be talked about. So what Jrue Holiday may be missing in passing, he gains on the defensive side. Anything he lacks offensively, he gains on defense. You know, so I'll put him up there with A, because I think he's one of the few point guards that really can lock down. You know what I'm saying? Play 1 through 3, 1 through 4, depending on who your 4 is. He's just a hoop. You know what I'm saying? He's just a basketball player, man. As far as like he could just do everything on the floor. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say. Next, we have Mr. 50, 40, 90 again with Malcolm Brogdon. You know what I'm saying? Went to Virginia, rookie of the year. You know, show early on. You know, show some promise early on. Now injuries and, you know, not the right opportunities probably hindered his career. And then he came in a little on the older side, you know, in the league where during that time it was starting to shift towards more younger players, 18, 19, one and done type players. You know, it was just wasn't the right point in time for him. But, you know, he definitely still had a solid career. Like I said, 6th man of the year candidate. Yeah, man, just a very solid player. But with that being said, I'll have to put him D tier. You know what I'm saying? I have to put him D tier. A very solid point guard, but you know, it's when we're just talking about all-time greats. Like the way I like to look at it is when we're starting over in NBA history and you're teaching somebody that's never watched the game of basketball about the history of basketball, how long are you going to take before you get to Malcolm Brogdon? You know what I'm saying? Or how long are you going to take before you get to these players? And I know the list might not match up with that statement 100%, but you know, it still factors in a little bit in this list. But this list is based on, you know, what I think, but also, you know, just like I said, what I just said, statement I just said. But yeah, let's move on. We got Damian Lillard. You know what I'm saying? Damian Lillard, one of the greatest shooters ever. Me personally, I have him number 2. You know what I'm saying? Because I think ultimately, I know a lot of people might say, oh, Klay Thompson or Reggie Miller or, you know, even Kyle Korver. And all of them are in my top 5 for sure. Klay I have right after Dame. But when we talk about difficulty of shot making, I think that definitely has to factor in to being a great shooter. You know what I'm saying? The difficulty of your shots. Having to shoot from half court. You know what I'm saying? Shooting while 2 people closing out on you. You know what I'm saying? Shooting while somebody in your face. The man did a step back or a side step from the hash. Almost half court for game. You know what I'm saying? That's, that's self-explanatory. But for that purpose, man, I'm gonna have to move him to S tier. You know what I'm saying? Because he's one of the, like I say, he influenced the game. He changed the game. He was part of the change. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people say Steph Curry changed the game, in which he changed the game. He was the one that started it, got the ball rolling. But then there was a point where him and Dame were moving the ball forward. You know what I'm saying? And changing the game, completely for everybody. You know, uh, changing the game as far as like the new offenses. Let's generate threes. Let's go outside in rather than inside and out. You know, uh, let's focus on getting a three first, then we'll drive and kick, or then we'll drive and maybe get a layup. And also, he's one of the few real 3-level scorers. You know what I'm saying? For example, if you all don't know, I think this is just a prime example of him being a 3-level scorer. The man was in the dunk contest and the 3-point contest. You know what I'm saying? And he's won the 3-point contest with, I think, multiple times. I think it was twice. I mean, it was once, maybe twice. But yeah, he was also in the dunk contest. So I think that shows real 3-level scoring. He changed the game for, forever. You know what I'm saying? He was definitely part of that movement. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And he just changed the game for point guards in general. The way that we even look at point guards. Him and Steph. But we'll get to Steph too. Next, we have Kyrie Irving. You know what I'm saying? Just another player, your Hooper's favorite Hooper. You know what I'm saying? Just when we talk about the game of basketball, he's probably the most talented ever in the game of basketball. Just especially offensively, the way he moved, the way that, hold on, chill. But the way that, he can, like his moves just looks like, everything just looks like one movement with him. You know what I'm saying? One of the greatest finishing point guards ever. You know what I'm saying? Probably the greatest finishing point guards ever. You got players like Derrick Rose up there with him too. But, Kyrie definitely changed how we just look at basketball, period. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of 3-level scoring, he's a real 3-level scorer, 50, 40, 90. Just one of the most gifted offensive players we've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? It's him and Kobe. You know what I'm saying? 1A, 1B, however you want to look at it. Like, when we talk about offense. I think also for that aspect, we'll put him S tier. You know what I'm saying? Top 75 player. I forgot to mention that with Damian Lillard too. So it's automatic, basically. It's one of the most gifted offensive players ever. Next we have Jason Williams. You know what I'm saying? A player that I kind of hinted at earlier when I was talking about bridging that gap of street ball and bringing it into the NBA. You know what I'm saying? You can really make an argument he was the pioneer. You know what I'm saying, for that. You know what I'm saying? The elbow passes, behind the back, behind the back passes, no look passes, just running in transition, just crazy stuff. Like, if you don't know, look up the White Chocolate highlights. Look up White Chocolate highlights, and that'll tell you everything you need to know. I think, with that being said, I'll put him C tier. He definitely had an impact on the game of basketball, period. You know what I'm saying? But if we're looking at the statistics and, his impact on the game, it wasn't really crazy. You know what I'm saying? He was just one of those players where he definitely, matter of fact, I'll put him B tier. You know what I'm saying? Because his impact goes a long way. Like, we're even seeing that in today's time. You know what I'm saying? Like, even to this day, we're seeing the impact of Jason Williams and what he brought to the game. You know what I'm saying? You hear a lot of current NBA players, they'll tell you, like, Jason Williams, he, one of my favorite players growing up. You know what I'm saying? He was one of them ones. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know in this picture it looked like he got the Orlando Magic jersey on. That's not a good representation of Jason Williams, but if you go back to Kings, to even the Heat, you know what I'm saying, where you won a championship, hey, I think his impact alone, you can put him up there with, the mid-level tier type point guards. Yeah. So I think that's it. Next we have Chris Paul. You know what I'm saying? Another no-brainer. No explanation needed. No explanation. Hold on now. Hold on. Hey, I know a couple of y'all about to click off. Hey, that wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? Nah, we gonna put him S here. I think that's self-explanatory, man. The ultimate floor raiser, just like Steve Nash. You know what I'm saying? Just made teams better. You know what I'm saying? Not just while he was on the team, but also after he left, his impact was still gone. You know what I'm saying? He rose a lot of people's attention. He rose a lot of people's potential. You know what I'm saying? Wembanyama, Shea. You know what I'm saying? Two of the best players in the NBA right now. You know what I'm saying? Chris Paul is a part of that journey. You know what I'm saying? He was the one that sped up their development, basically. The ultimate floor general, one of the greatest to do it. You know what I'm saying? Top 75 also. I think that's just self-explanatory. Yeah, that's pretty much all you need to say. Top 5 in assists. One of the best playmakers ever. Just team raising. But next we have Tony Parker. An underrated player in NBA history, I would say. You know what I'm saying? A player that, I think a lot of people discredit him because of the system and the Spurs and just, the familiarity with, with the system and the system being catered towards him, basically. And just, you could say that he benefited off team success, but hey, he was still nice, man. When it comes to, he's also another player that just raised the floor of other players. Not the most flashy players, but he also changed the game of how we look at, European players. Basically, that whole Spurs, organization during the 2000s, early 2010s, even now, basically, the whole Spurs organization really changed of how we look at European players. And Tony Parker's part of that. Just wasn't flashy, just got the job done, did what he needed to do, did it at a high level. And yeah, I'm saying multi-time all-star. I'm saying had a period where he was top 5 point guards in the league. You can maybe sneak him into the top 3 at one point. And yeah, I think that's all that needs to be said. Definitely underrated. I'll put him A tier. I'm saying I think he was about 2, 3, 4 more seasons. Like if he had that period of without Tim Duncan and he had to carry the franchise and they still had the same success, I think that would be a period where, you can move him up to S tier. But, you could say that he benefited from just a well put together system. But hey, he did what he was supposed to do. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all I need to say. Next we have Russell Westbrook. You know what I'm saying? Just another pioneer of the explosive point guards. The way that we look at point guards, changed because of Russell Westbrook and Derrick Rose. Like it changed. You know what I'm saying? Like there was no more traditional point guards where we're going to slow the game down, where your point guard is one of your most unathletic players on your team. You know what I'm saying? Where you wasn't looking for your point guard to dunk on your play. You wasn't looking for your point guard to grab rebounds. You wasn't looking for your point guard to, just, how do I put it? You wasn't looking for your point guard to really score the ball. And Russ really changed that. You know what I'm saying? By basically doing everything. You wasn't expecting your point guard to do everything. And Russ Derrick Rose, like those were two players that really changed the the POV. You know what I'm saying? The point of view of how we view point guards. You know, they went from traditional pass first, bounce passes, pick and roll, alley oop, to hey, give me the ball, get out the way. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming down the lane, I'm running the transition, I'm going coast to coast. Yeah. You know, so I think with that being said, he's also, I'll put him S tier. You know what I'm saying? Because he even changed how we view the game of basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like, triple doubles used to be a rare thing in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? It still kind of is. You know what I'm saying? It's not an easy thing to do. And the man went a whole season where he averaged a triple double. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that he had more triple doubles than he did not have triple doubles. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely like he changed the way that we even look at basketball. And just built a career off of pure hustle, pure just willpower. Yeah, man. I think it's just a shame that after that Lakers run, people completely changed their view on Russ and forgot what he did, 10 years before that. You know what I'm saying? Basically, since he got in the league. You know what I'm saying? So that's just sad, man. And I still think he still had a lot left in the tank even before he retired. But with that being said, we're going to move on. We got another two-way player. You know what I'm saying? A player that you can argue one of the best defenders or most versatile defenders in NBA history with Ben Simmons. And I think ultimately this may be the first C tier. Just because he definitely changed the game as far as how we look at point guards today. You know what I'm saying? He changed the game for the modern NBA to where now we have 6'7" point guards, 6'6" point guards. He was a 6'10" point guard, like the biggest player on the floor at times, bringing the ball up the floor. My fault, I hit the mic, but just being a major problem. You know what I'm saying? A matchup problem. Man, coming out of college, coming out of high school, people was comparing this man to LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? The man played, didn't even come close to LeBron. And even when they was comparing to LeBron, I didn't see it. But as far as the athleticism and the being 6'10", and being able to handle the ball, I could see that aspect in the playmaking. But we talking about LeBron James here, bro. The greatest basketball player in history. Nah. But when we talk about just versatile defender, just changed how we look at the game today. But it was only for like a 5-year period before the water cut off. You know what I'm saying? The man, he went from, being compared to LeBron, all-star, multi-time all-star, defensive player of the year discussions, to all defensive teams, to now he's a bench warmer. Now he's out of the league. Now he's looking to get back in the league. So I think the longevity aspect does factor in just a little bit. But next we have Derek Fisher. You know what I'm saying? Derek Fisher, just a winner. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I think of Derek Fisher, it's nothing flashy or, he changed the game or nothing like that. But what you can't take away from him is he won. You know what I'm saying? You can't take that away from him. And I think just because of that, I'll put him B tier. You know what I'm saying? The impact on basketball ain't really there. You know what I'm saying? Because I do think impact factors into, at least for me, impact factors into, a player's legacy. Or how I view a certain player in NBA history. It definitely factors in. I wouldn't say it's the only thing, but it definitely factors in it. The impact ain't really there, but he's a winner. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, shout out to Derek Fisher. But next we have Tyrese Halliburton. You know what I'm saying? One of the clutchest players in NBA history. If you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? You know. went on one of the clutchest runs in NBA history. And my Cavs was a part of that too. You know what I'm saying? It hurt me to this day, but you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Tyrese Halliburton. But I think he's the first hasn't done enough. You know what I'm saying? Especially him being injured, being out for a full season. You know what I'm saying? Like, his career is really just starting. Like, that run that we saw, you know, going on 2 years from now, 2 years ago or 2 seasons ago, you know, it definitely, that was just the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Because even before then, he had just got traded to the Pacers. You know what I'm saying? So his career is still being figured out. It's still shaping into it's still shaping. You know what I'm saying? I think that's pretty much all that needs to be said. And now we have underrated, one of the most underrated point guards of all time. We got Andre Miller. Definitely an interesting one. Because you hear a lot of former NBA players, especially players that played with Andre Miller, they'll tell you, like, he's one of the best point guards they've ever played with. You know what I'm saying? As far as playmaking and setting teams up and being a floor raiser, floor general, team raiser. You know, and I think just off that alone, I'll put him B tier. You know what I'm saying? Kind of similar to, you know, he definitely has the impact of maybe like a Chris Paul or Steve Nash. It's just the longevity of just dominance might not be there. You know what I'm saying? But, or just the overall game might not be there, because he wasn't a great shooter either. But hey, man, the man could pass the ball. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. And Andre Miller is definitely underrated for sure. You know, but yeah. So we got Jamal Murray. You know what I'm saying? Jamal Murray. Now, he is one of those players where I don't know, man, because he's one of them players that you can really say he hasn't done enough. But at this point, he's been in the league going on 9-10 years. So there's definitely a good serving size of, you know, years played and stuff that we can go off of, you know, accolades, or even though I'm not bringing too many accolades into the, you know what I'm saying, this list or this video. But with that being said, I also have to put him, you know what I'm saying, C tier. You know what I'm saying? Because I like the way he played. You know what I'm saying? Definitely has one of the smoothest games. You know what I'm saying? Like if we're going off this list and we have to compare who has the smoothest game, you know what I'm saying, Jamal Murray's definitely up there for sure. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, the efficiency might not be there at times, but hey, he definitely, you know, can get to a shot. You know what I'm saying? He definitely can create space, get to a shot. Definitely think he's underrated in that aspect, but I wouldn't say that he hasn't had an impact on the game of basketball. He's a winner. You know, a couple, if I'm not mistaken, I think he made an all NBA team. I think it was like all NBA third team 1 year. Multi-time all-star. I think, yeah, that's self-explanatory. You know what I'm saying? Just average, kind of similar to Ben Simmons, you know. Next we have Baron Davis. And I ain't want to bring all rings into Jamal Murray. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm going off of everything but rings in this video. But next we have Baron Davis. Also another player, a part of that lineage of Russ, Derrick Rose, of just explosive players. Basically turned the whole franchise around. Turned the whole franchise around. You know, was a bright spot for a franchise, especially during the time where they really didn't have much. You know, Barry Davis was one of them ones. You know what I'm saying? I think That's self-explanatory. And honestly, I will put him, hold on, not C tier. I will put him, for right now, I will put him D tier. I said D tier. I will put him B tier. You know what I'm saying? For right now. But he definitely has a potential to rise up to A. Because when we talk about explosive point guards, out of everybody on this list so far, he was the first. You know what I'm saying? Just when we seeing that point guard that can, finish efficiently at the rim, dunking on your favorite player, just explosiveness, athleticism, you know what I'm saying? Just probably the first non-traditional point guard in that aspect of just able to do everything, just athleticism wise, just yeah. So he definitely has the potential to move up. Next we have Cade Cunningham. I think that's self-explanatory. Man, just getting started. You know what I'm saying? Now, I think, these past 3 years, he's definitely been progressing. He turned the whole Detroit Pistons franchise around. He was the head honcho of that. But yeah, it just hasn't done enough. Just getting started. Next we have Chauncey Billups. Hall of Famer. And honestly, if I put Baron Davis in B tier, I think we talking about a Hall of Famer here. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Baron Davis. Matter of fact, I'll put Baron Davis in A tier because, like I say, he had that Warriors franchise on his back. Like, he really turned that organization around for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was the bright spot at the end of the tunnel for the Warriors. Just like he was the reason that people were trying to tune into Warriors games. During the time where they didn't have much. But next we got Chauncey Billups. Chauncey Billups, Hall of Famer. Just a solid point guard. Definitely a part of a team that defined an entire era. Because I think, man, that 04 Detroit Pistons teams, I think that just defines the 2000s era. You know what I'm saying? That championship, that team, the way that team's constructed, just defines the whole 2000s era. And top 75 player, or is he a top 75 player? Can't remember off the top of my head, but Hall of Fame, nonetheless. You gotta respect it. So put him A tier. Put him A tier definitely. Next we have Dennis Schroeder. Definitely one of the most underrated players in the league right now. You know what I'm saying? Because he's just one of them players where he might not be an all-star or whatnot, but he's going to play his role. I know a lot of people saying, he's getting traded back and forth. No team wants him. But if he's getting traded to every team wants him. That's the way I look at it. He has a place on every team. Every team should want a player like Dennis Schroeder. I'm kind of, mad that we traded him. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of mad that, my Cavs traded him. But, we ended up getting Peyton Watson. So I guess that, I guess everything shapes out. But with that being said, I'll have to put him D tier. You know what I'm saying? He just plays his role. And yeah, you know what I'm saying? Definitely a solid player. But yeah, I think that's all that needs to be said. Next we have Devin Harris. Oh my God. And I say oh my God because it's definitely like he's not a player that many people think about. You know what I'm saying? But he definitely had a couple years where, he was doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? I think that's all that needs to be said. I think that's all that needs to be said. And actually, I'll just put him C tier. You know what I'm saying? I'll put him C tier. You know what I'm saying? He was part of a couple playoff teams. He was starting point guard. I think he had a 20-point per game season. I'm saying just solid, average. You know what I'm saying? Nothing too crazy. Um, but definitely a player that flies under the radar. A borderline all-star. He may have one all-star. I think it was a year where he was borderline all-star. Like he definitely could have been an all-star. Maybe an all-star snub. Can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, definitely just average. You know what I'm saying? Not bad. But you wouldn't say he's the greatest. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a good spot to put him. Next we have a play. Oh, we got Isaiah Thomas. You know what I'm saying? What I was talking about earlier with short kings. He was the guy. Isaiah Thomas, he really, like, he gave an entire generation hope. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a real deal, your favorite hooper's favorite hoop. You know what I'm saying? A hooper that's coming up that you may like. Isaiah Thomas is their favorite hooper. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he was, like, he put on for all the people that didn't get a chance because they was, so-called small. He was the one that put on for all of us. He was the one that was living a lot of people's dreams. Let's just say that, king of the fourth quarter. Definitely. I was talking about Tyrese Halliburton. He had a run where an entire quarter that man would take over. But you know what I'm saying, with that being said, I'll say B tier. You know what I'm saying? But the impact on the game of basketball definitely is there. Next we have Gary Payton. You know what I'm saying? Next we have Gary Payton. One of the best two-way guards ever. One of the last guards to win Defensive Player of the Year. It's only happened once since he's won it. Just a player that changed the game defensively for guards. How we look at, two-way players today, he was a two-way player. I'm saying kind of ahead of his time, because you wasn't looking for guards to really play defense back then, especially during a time where it was heavily on, big men, and he won Defensive Player of the Year in that era. I think that speaks for itself. So I will put him S tier. I'm saying one of the best two-way players ever, one of the best two-way guards ever. That's it. He really started that move. Next we have Deron Williams. That's interesting player. You know what I'm saying? If you know, he's if you know type of player. This prime Deron Williams will give your favorite player buckets easy. Like, your favorite player couldn't guard Deron Williams. Sorry to tell you. Just, solid. Definitely had a run where there was an argument where you could say he was the best point guard in the league. You know what I'm saying? At one point. Just a very solid NBA point guard. One of the best offensive guards we've seen. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if you know, you know. One of the best offensive point guards we've ever seen. Multi-time All-Star. But do I want to put him in B tier? Well, I put him in full. This is an interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting. You know what? I'll put him upper B tier. You know what I'm saying? Because it's similar to, with Deron Williams, with Isaiah Thomas, with Kemba Walker. It's pretty much the same thing. You know what I'm saying? The offense was definitely there. You know what I'm saying? I had that period where he was nobody to hold. You know what I'm saying? It's just the longevity of it wasn't really there. If that makes sense. Because he played, what 10 years? 10 plus years? If I'm not mistaken. I think he played 10 plus years. So longevity was there, but just the consistency of at that elite level wasn't really there. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you could say the same thing about Kemba, that he played at a certain level for many, many years. But yeah, I think that's a good spot to put him. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a good spot to put him. Um, and next we have LaMelo Ball. You know what I'm saying? I think this is another one just hasn't done enough. And speaking of De'Aaron Fox, I think he's also another one. He just hasn't done enough. Uh, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Even though De'Aaron Fox did turn that, Kings French. Well, he was since, since the 2000s. He was part of that team, the only team that really had success with the Kings. You know what I'm saying? Or to really have success with the organization. He was part of that team, but outside of that, hasn't really done enough. Next, we have Luka. You know what I'm saying? Now, Luka's one of those players where you can put him and hasn't done enough. But he has done some things in his career that we haven't seen too much in NBA history. You know what I'm saying? He has done some stuff in his career that we've, really haven't seen. You know what I'm saying? Just the slowest player, one of the slowest players in NBA history, but he's just one of the most effective scorers, especially at the guard position that we've seen. I put in quotation marks because is he really a guard? Is he really a forward? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? He plays point guard. He's just similar to Ben Simmons. Actually, I'll put him C tier. You know what I'm saying? Because he's one of the best offensive guards we've ever seen. I think that's self-explanatory. Next, we have Ja Morant, a player that I think he's gonna put a lot of people back on notice about. I think a lot of people gave up on him. Don't believe in him no more. But hey, I'm a firm believer Ja Morant will be back. You know what I'm saying? To top of the league. He gonna remind a lot of people. But with that being said, hasn't done enough at this point in his career. Definitely has some years to go. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think that's self-explanatory. Next, we have Jameer Nelson. Jameer Nelson, another underrated player. Just a steady player. You know what I'm saying? A steady point guard. You know what you're going to get. He's going to facilitate. He's going to, you know what I'm saying? He's just solid point guard. But with that being said, I'll put him D tier. It's just the impact might not really there.